First of all, Whoopi, thank you very much for being here. It's a real pleasure.
Well, thanks for asking. One doesn't want to just show up somewhere.
Of course. My first question is, as a director, for you as an actress, what's the most important thing you need from a director in order to do your best work?
The director's ears. Because if a director isn't listening, the director doesn't know if I'm doing my best work. And I like when a director can communicate, whether with images from other movies or anything visually that a director can give me to tell me what I need or what is required from me. That's what I want. But more than anything, it's just the ear. I want to hear the director say what he needs. Because actors, pretty much, unless they're very new, kind of know some things that might be helpful about a character. And unless a director is listening, he doesn't know that. And when an actor questions a director, it's not a challenge. It's because you need the piece of information or you're not understanding. The other thing that I see directors do that's terrible is they forget that most crews know what they're doing. Most crews have made more movies than you and I will ever make. If something doesn't look good, the gaffer knows. Everyone on that set knows when it doesn't look right or when something's off. And if a director isn't capable of hearing from the gaffer, hey, you might want to look at that light because it looks a little strange. It just is odd. It's just very strange because should be a collaborative thing.
You had a very extensive career going from stand up comedy to comedic and dramatic movie roles to talk show host to producing a Broadway play. I'm really curious, what's been most enjoyable for you if you had to pick one of those roles?
Getting paid for the work. That's the most enjoyable. I'm just glad to have a job. But when you're auditioning or trying to sell yourself, or trying to explain to a director why you really are the smartest choice for a particular part, that's kind of grueling. And careers, go up and down and up and down. So I always try to keep myself busy because sometimes it's right at the top of the world. And I haven't really been sort of down in the toilet, but sometimes it can get very low. So I just want to, I'm writing kids' books or I'm producing television or trying to get a little movie made or doing a documentary just so that I can continue to hone my skills in all aspects.
As the host of a talk show watched by millions, do you ever feel that responsibility? How maybe the things that you condone and condemn are taken so much to heart by so many people? Does that ever weigh on you?
I wish I could be really deep and heavy and say yes. But because I pride myself on being able to say, this is my opinion, and no one else needs to believe it or feel the same way I do. This is how I feel. You have to make your own decision. But, my biggest responsibility and the only thing I really have to be concerned about is, am I saying my truth, And if I believe it, am I willing to take the consequences of my beliefs? And the answer is yes.
We were fortunate to talk to Jerry Sachs and Mike Nichols about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And they both said about you that what you see is what you get with Whoopi.
Yeah.
And have you found it hard over the years to, as a mainstream actress, to be and stay true to yourself?
Well, as it turns out, and I don't know whether it's noticeable to you or not, but I discovered once I got to Hollywood that I was Black. I did not know this. And people kept pointing it out and telling me how hard it was for artists of color to get any work. So I thought, well, geez, I guess they're talking about me. I've never been a glam queen. It takes too much time and I'm way too lazy to get glamorous, so I try not to do it. And, I just really want to do my art because I am an artist.
So, Whoopi,
Yes.
if I were to invite you to Israel, Would you come and make a movie
I
there?
would absolutely be there in a minute.
Wonderful.
I was thinking, you know, that maybe being brown and African American, or no, just say black, because I'm not an African American, I'm an American. But an American girl who finds out that she is both Palestinian and Jewish and comes to find who she is because she's so many different things in the world. I think this would be really great, and I would love to come. And I'd also plant another tree.
Where did you plant the tree?
I planted the tree at the King David.
Oh.
So I'm ready to plant another tree, so I'll come whenever you want.
I'll have the script ready for you in 10 days.
You got it,
All
baby.
right.
You got it. I'm on my way.
All right, thank you very much.
Cool.
I've read somewhere doing my research that you are an happy person, and I wanted to know what is the secret to be happy.
Well, the secret, in my opinion, is to be true to yourself. Once you're true to yourself, then it's very hard to be unhappy. You try not to compromise a lot of your own internal beliefs, and to always just try to tell the truth if you can. You know, it's hard sometimes because consequences, everything is tied up with consequences, but the consequences are less important if you are who you are. That's my belief.
There's something about getting the feeling about what you're doing.
Right.
Where does it come from?
I think that it comes from two things: the shock and awe of the fact that I'm doing it, and the great joy that it gives me, because I think as a kid, I was sort of odd. And so for me, the world inside my head was a great place to be. And I watched a lot of movies because I didn't learn to read till quite late. And so what I understood of the world, I got from the cinema. Now, who knew that there was not really a place called Oz? It took a little while for me to come to terms with the fact that that wasn't there. But there were so many things that I did find in film that's what I'm just so happy to be part of it. If like you had a scale of beautiful women, I'm not like number one or number two. Number 4, 6, 7 maybe, but not number one or number two. So, I'm thrilled to be where I am and who I am, and very lucky.
So when a kid tells the parent that he's going to be an actor, they think like, because it falls into an entertainment business, they feel it's just leisure and fun, and there's no future.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that, and how should they go about it? Because this is something that they would love to do.
Okay. Get a picture of me, Morgan Freeman, Lawrence Fishburne, any chocolate actor, and hold up a picture and say, if they can do this in a country where there's not a lot of them, then we can do this. I can do this. Because here, I'm not unusual looking. Okay, I look like us. So this is a very good life for me because I will be happy because it's what I want to do. I'd say try that.
Yes, yes. And there's something about the job of an actor because the productions are not uh, really on a regular basis.
Right.
You're not sure
Yeah.
if you'll.
If you're going to work in a month, yeah.
Yes.
You see, I can work anywhere. I can work on a stage, I can work for film. So the other thing that you, or I would suggest that you say to anyone who wants to be an actor, is to learn how to do everything. Learn how to be on a stage, because when you're not in a film, you can go from neighborhood to neighborhood, throw up a couple of walls, get 7 people, start talking, and you have theater. It requires only that.
Is that the reason why you also do producing and writing and?
Yeah, because you never know if you're going to work in a film again. But I always know there's a stage somewhere.
What about building the characters? In Rwanda, we want to develop a film industry
Right.
and have some renowned actors. How do we proceed until we reach to a stage where it's exciting to meet these actors?
Well, I don't know. But I say invite the actors and they will come. And not just Morgan Freeman or myself, but the young actors that are not thought of as in Hollywood as top tier actors, but who are still great actors, who would be honored to be invited to be part of building some piece or adding a piece of themselves to the big picture of Rwanda films. You know, we would all like to be part of it, not just the black actors, the white actors, the Asian actors. Because when you're wanted as an actor, when someone recognizes your talent, you don't care where it is. Someone says, can you help me learn about this? You want to teach whatever you know. And when you leave, you think, I left a little bit of what somebody taught me. So call everybody. Call everybody. We're ready.
So thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
time. It's a lot of knowledge that we get from people like you.
Well,
And
call us up. Call me up. Say, come on over.
sure.
It takes me a little while to fly. I'm just telling you. If I can get a boat, you know, I'll figure out how to get to Africa. But, you know, it would be wonderful to have this invitation
Yeah.
for a lot of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Today I'm gonna start my first question, getting your experience of film, and one of the films I really like, the Color Purple. The Color Purple is a groundbreaking film. Our audience is still interested in film which question a value of society.
I think they are. I think people always want questions posted in films that sort of make them look at themselves, you know. Color Purple was unlike anything else, and there were consequences to this movie because some people of color said, oh, it's not like that at all. And some people said, well, no, it's been like that for me. And it was we were in the middle of a huge fight. It was kind of silly, I thought. But the consequence of that was that there were not a lot of black actors working for a very long time after Color Purple, because no one wanted to get yelled at by what we call the NAACP, which was an organization for the advancement of colored people, trying to look out for everybody. So it was a big mess. It was a big mess.
Do you believe in that film you have sent a message to the audience, and in your belief that film can change society?
Yes, I think film can change societies all over the world. I mean, there are great old films like To Kill a Mockingbird, which is an amazing film about the South and race relations and how they're seen and what happens when one man decides that race is not the issue, but the law is the issue. These are my favorite films. When someone who you think doesn't get it for the reasons you get it, but gets it because it's not right, So I think those are really important. And the fact that you learn in film, sometimes you watch movies and they have little kids in them, and the little kids never see the difference. They're mad because you made a mess of their stuff. They're not mad because you're black or you're Jewish or you're Indian. They're mad because my stuff got messed up. I love that.
Do you think human film can break bigotry?
Well, I mean, it's clear that it can't erase bigotry, but it can sure put a big dent in it. The mere fact that I'm here says everything, because for years and years and years, there was nothing like me, or there were, but you could only work in some places. Like Lena Horne, she could not be seen in movies in the South because she was your complexion, but she was considered, and she was black, but that was like, oh, you can't do that. Time passed and it started not to matter because people said, well, this is really boring. Let's get some good movies in there. Then you get a movie like In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier. And he's playing a man who is a head detective where he comes from in a town where people have never seen anything like him before. So you see people growing in little tiny bits, and that's all you can ask for is a little bit of growth, because people are not going to change overnight. They can't. It's not in them. But little tiny bits, one-on-one, can do wonders. And film, because it's such a close medium, can give you one-on-one experience. Even though you're here as the voyeur watching, you can see someone else's evolution and suddenly see yourself and think, oh, am I that guy? I thought I was this guy. No, I'm that guy. Yeah. It's a great mirror. And I think it's magnificent when it can do that, when it can educate and make you laugh at the same time, or make you really angry, angry enough to make a change in yourself.
Whoopi Goldberg is a standout name.
Well, one must admit that when you heard the name, I was not what people were expecting. When they saw me, they wait, what? And people would always ask me the question, no one ever wants to ask you out loud. So they would say, so, are you... And I'd go, what? And they go, And I go, a girl? They go, no, I go, what? What are you asking me? And they said, well, your name. I said, Whoopi. They said, well, yeah, that. But your name? Are you? And I'd go, what? And finally they would say, are you Jewish? And I'd say, would you ask me that if I was white? But it is what it is. Now, my mother did not name me Whoopi. You know, not even my mom, as eccentric as she was, named me Whoopi. But the Goldberg is mine. It's part of my family. And so I will tell you that. But normally I just say, well, why are you asking me? But, you know, it's part of my heritage.
Last question. Would you visit Palestine?
Yes. You inviting me? You gonna make a movie with me in Palestine?
More than happy to work with you.
Done.
Thank you very much.
Done.